It is amazing that Elon Musk is a trillionaire. He's an immigrant from South Africa who arrived in America at 17 with $2,000 in a suitcase full of books. He paid his way through college, graduated with over 100 grand in debt.
Failure.
Don't hate the trillionaire, hate the valuation.
Trillionaire.
Why anyone would feel like that was something for us to be excited about
The
or proud
first
of.
trillionaire in the world is not good news.
Based on the reaction I have seen so far, what I am about to say will not be a popular opinion. But having the world's first trillionaire should be a positive thing, not a negative thing. It should be viewed as a motivation, as an inspiration, not as a moral or ethical issue. Before I go any further, I want to acknowledge, yes, capitalism is not perfect. America is not perfect. We do have an income inequality. We do have a wealth gap between the have and the have-not. We do have wage stagnation along with increased inflation that never seem to go down. And inflation will always be a part of our life. Those are all true. But I believe capitalism is the best system that I have been very fortunate to be a part of. Capitalism enables anyone with a dream, with a vision, a clear plan of execution to turn their dream into reality, to turn their dream from the garage, from the dorm room, from a spare bedroom into a multi-trillion-dollar business. Apple gets started with Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs in their garage building Apple computer. Michael Dell built a custom computer from his dorm room. And of course, we all know where Facebook get their start as well. And then the subject of the day, Elon Musk, the first world trillionaire. He is not just the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. He's also responsible for many other companies, including Neuralink. If you take the time to look at the companies that he founded and look at their missions and what they have done, in contrary to the industry standard, the innovation, the job creation, the proving the doubters wrong, and now look at where he is at, look at where his companies are at. Before Tesla, manufacturing electric car would be considered crazy because it is not profitable because of the cost prohibitive nature of manufacturing electric vehicle. But thanks to Tesla and his teams of engineers, first principle thinkers, they're able to eliminate many unnecessary parts, many unnecessary processes, and reduce the cost drastically. Even now, the OEMs, the gas OEM like Ford and GM, they can manufacture electric car, but at a loss. Tesla manufacture electric car at profit. That's because of their engineering prowess. With SpaceX, the idea of reusable rockets was foreign. The idea of reducing the launch cost by a fraction compared to traditional launch cost was unheard of. But look at them now. They're able to launch the rockets at a regular interval, at a fraction of a cost. Again, it goes back to their first principle thinking. What I just brought up is just a small sample of what makes capitalism the best system I have been a part of. It allows anyone with a vision, a dream, to turn into reality, as long as they are willing to work over 80 hours a week into the business to make it reality. As long as they're willing to sleep under multiple bunk bed, under the office desk, as long as they're willing to risk their finance to burn billions of cash on a quarterly basis for decades in order for them to see the profit. How many of us is willing to put over 80 hours a week into our vision, our dream? How many of us have the risk tolerance it needs to be that one business that succeed out of the 100, out of the 99 that fail? Very few of us have that. But even if we don't have the high risk tolerance and working crazy 80 hours or more per week, or have some wealthy relative that we can borrow the money to start a business like Amazon, we as average American can still be wealthier than when we started. For example, for me, with my birth lottery, I was born into poverty, to a single parent home in Thailand refugee camp. I arrived in the United States in Long Beach, California, and lived through a high crime, high dropout rate, and high poverty. But yet, I am able to make a life for myself here in West Michigan. And that is even through many failures through a couple of decades in my 20s and 30s. I had $0 saved for retirement at the age of 32 because I was busy looking rich instead of being rich. I was having that consumer mindset. But when I shift to wealth building mindset, now at age 48, I am doing meaningful work since age 46. And the only thing that changed was me, my mindset shift from a consumer mindset to a wealth building mindset. As far as government policies and guidelines and corporate policies, they have always been the same since I've been in the United States. Government policies will never satisfy every American, will never be fair to every American, because all of us are different with different circumstances, with different beliefs. And corporate companies always in the business to make money. Back in 2008, I was close to being laid off, but I wasn't. Well, I was fortunate I wasn't until I got a software engineering job. And in 2020, I could be one of the person that got laid off, but I was also fortunate again that I wasn't. What I hope you get out of this episode is look at life through the positive lens, not the negative lens. Look at the controllable, not what is outside of your control. As far as the system goes, there is no perfect system. Every system is going to have the positive and the negative. Capitalism is no different. Here in America, we have progressive tax system. We have ordinary income taxes and capital gain taxes. Learn to understand our tax system. Learn to understand how our economy works, and learn to understand how investment works. And if you're into starting a business, learn how to start a business work. Because any one of us that have an idea, they have the will and they have the work ethic and the risk. With a simple Google search, we can go from where we are to where we want to be. What other people have or don't have has no impact on where we can go from here to where we want to be. So instead of worrying about what is outside of your control, focus on what is in your control.